One day, the son watched his father offering namaz, and when the father got up, he just massaged his knee. The old age discomfort was obvious. The son, out of love and concern, ordered a very thick, cushiony janamas. From which part of the world and for how much? The old man did not know, did not care. All he missed was the small mosque that he had built in his hometown with the money which was supposed to be spent on the rituals of his mother's death. He always had a sense of purpose. He always had a sense of justice. He came out into the sprawling lawn of the riverfront home of his son. As he walked past, the sprinklers hissed to life. He took few rounds of the lawn as usual and went down to the bench at the river bank. Took a pouch of grain out of his pocket, and the ducks followed. He played with them like a small child. This was his favorite moment of the day. He would wave at every passing by boat, and when the passengers would wave back to him, he would giggle, laugh. When the air becomes little cool, he would come inside the house. It's a luxurious house. On a touch, the lights will flicker on. Did he take notice of anything? No, he didn't. On one touch, when the whole house got illuminated, the expensive showpieces glitter, the furniture glitter. He took no notice of anything. He just took a glass of water, went upstairs, peeped into the kids' rooms. They were all immersed in their devices like their father and mother. He closed the door back on them quietly, went into his room. It was time for him for another namaz. Sometimes the son would take them out for a drive. The wife would sit next to him, glittering in gold and diamonds she did not know the worth of. And she would complain the luxurious car doesn't have the ease and joy of the scooter rides the couple had all their lives. And while coming back, when they wanted to buy something, the son would say, "Oh, Ma, we don't need this. Oh, kids won't like it." They accepted this seclusion, this isolation with a little resignation. And he was old, almost 90, hard of hearing, and his cognitive skills were also going down. But he was very enthusiastic and very curious to know what the new world is like. He longed to to speak to the grandchildren, but the language and the understanding were the barriers. He didn't say, he just accepted that even. The house was beautiful, full of comforts, but the man was not at ease here. Somehow, he felt that this land is not connected to him, he's not connected to the land, and he resolved to go back home. The moment he landed in his hometown, he was greeted by a driver sent by his another son, very successful, very accomplished doctor, but was too busy to come and attend upon the parents. But something triggered, and the old man did not mind this. Something triggered inside him, as if he was afraid to lose his tongue again, and he started talking to the driver continuously. And he was just he was just talking too much. He just didn't realize he just wanted to go on and on and on. The wife just requested the driver to let the windows of the car be open. He just bent slightly out, inhaled the familiar scent of home, the lane full of memories. And there was a smile and a satisfaction on her face. The moment they reached home, the old man opened all the windows and doors of the house, and they both stood outside in the balcony for some time, as if to get familiarized with something that they have longed for when they were not here. Within a week, the old man with his wife went to his hometown in his village. No matter how much he has progressed, no matter how much his children have progressed, but his heart and soul always belong to this village. We'll go to the fields first, he ordered the driver. And the car moved onto the muddy and wet streets. But the man has just come from the pristine lawns, a splendid house. But the muddy streets made him feel alive and connected. When they were driving from that side, the pond of the village came across. They came across. And the man started as if he wanted to share so much with somebody. And he said, "You know, when I was a child, I was fond of playing football. And whenever I felt like bunking my classes, I would come here, hid my bag under the moist soil of this pond, and will swim for hours. You know, Bade Dada, he would also join me. And Gafur, he would also join later. And when we were tired and we wanted to eat, the forest around us had tremendous fruits to offer. Nobody was there to ask us, nobody was there to question us, nobody was there to stop us." After that, he continued. "You know, I was the first who passed the metric in my village. But, you know, when the result was announced, there was a star put against my mathematics, and nobody understood what was that. Until the next day, the teacher told that it was a distinction in mathematics that he has got. And the whole village celebrated. And then, as if he lost in some meditation, and he said, the joy was all, for everyone. The pain was everyone, and we were all so genuinely close to each other." He reached his home, sat in the veranda for a while in the open yard, and then he went inside. The moment he went inside his room, as if everything was trying to talk to him, rebuking him, asking him questions. "Where have you been?" He just looked at the ink pot that his elder brother had brought from the fair, and the twin flower pots that still sit on the shelves of the room that his mother has brought for him to add a little charm to his room. He looked at everything, and when he looked at the framed mirror on the wall, he couldn't bear it any longer, and he left the room outside because he saw himself as a young boy in that mirror. He came outside in the veranda. A, B, C, D, E, whoever passed, he had to say hi, hello to everyone. Everyone has something to ask to him. "Aage babu vilayat se, kaisa raha?" "Bahut badhiya." While sipping on that extra sweet tea that was made of pure milk for him that day. He just remembered everything, and at the evening, a lot of people around in the village gathered with him, talking, trying to ask him stories. All of them were interested in knowing what has happened, how it was, and all that. His son called. He got the latest smart touch phone. He just connected his hearing aids so that he could hear him properly. And while trying, when the phone lit up, when he struggled to navigate the buttons on the phone, and mistakenly he turned the camera off. The son's voice came, "Papa, I told you it's so easy. Why can't you handle it? Try it again." The man still struggled to navigate how to turn the camera on. But there were a lot of children playing around him, laughing, enjoying, talking. He couldn't hear again what the son was trying to say. The phone got disconnected. He slid the phone back into his pocket, looked up at the glittery sky full of stars, and felt contented.